Welcome to this course on TensorFlow Lite. You've seen a lot of deep learning algorithms run maybe on your laptop and on the cloud, but there's something magical to giving these algorithms, maybe a model that you've trained to run in your hand on a smartphone or on a lightweight embedded processor like an Arduino or Raspberry Pi that you can buy for some tens of US dollars. So in this 4-week course, you learn to build these models and have them run at the edge.
There is something really magical about having models like running on mobile devices and running away from the computer. And we've all seen, or we will see in this course, demos where I can show like image classification and object detection on your smartphone. But I think also even more exciting is when you get smaller than the smartphone and you build like smart embedded systems that respond to visual input or respond to audio input, that kind of thing. It's really cool.
Yeah, I still remember the first time someone showed me a ConvNet that was trained and was running on a smartphone. It's pointing around, recognizing different objects, and there was a magical moment in that. There was one funny thing though. I was really excited when I could point to the banana and it told me it's banana. But then later on, my friends told me, I know that's a banana. Why do I need you to tell me it's banana? So
yeah, that's the thing for technologists, right? We get excited when the technology works the way we do, but for like a lot of people, and it's a good reminder, like for people in the outside world, that we're just building technology that's catching up with what real people can do. And like I recognized it was a banana.
Yeah.
You know, yay! But I think one of the things then that then becomes really important from that is then when you can take those models and do transfer learning on those models. And one of the things that, like for me, that made it doubly magical was when I had that mobile app that could spot a banana, but then I did transfer learning on the model with a bunch of flowers that I don't recognize. And then I could actually point my mobile device at one of those flowers, and it says this is a Versaceticola, which is a type of iris apparently, which I didn't actually realize. And so being able to learn things like that, so now it's seeing things and classifying things that I don't know, and it's going beyond me, which I thought was really cool.
Yeah, I think these technologies opens up room for a lot of creativity to come up with brand new applications like flower recognition and many others that I hope maybe some of the learners watching this will come up with.
Yeah.
Beyond running these things on mobile, there are also other edge devices like the lightweight embedded processor. So I saw you building earlier today one of your robots with a screwdriver.
This guy.
Right.
So yeah, this is a sort of a self-driving car. It's built with a Raspberry Pi right here. So the Raspberry Pi runs TensorFlow Lite, and it's running a thing called Donkey Car. And the idea behind this one is that you can effectively train a car by manually driving it around a course and then capturing frames as you're manually driving it. And then you label those frames with the details of the controller. So how hard was I accelerating? How was I turning left? Was I turning right? And they can become the labels to the feature of the camera. And then you can train a model off of that, deploy the model to the device. And then as long as you put the device on the same track, it could self-drive around that track, which is really exciting. And it's rough around the edges, as you can see, but they are beginning to work really well.
No, that's really cool. I did my PhD as a roboticist and machine learning person. So I think throwing stuff like this together, and in this course, learners will be able to run in a simulator as well of this vehicle, even if they haven't built one of these at home.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, they won't be able to simulate the vehicle directly if they haven't built one, but with a Raspberry Pi, they'll be able to deploy the software to it and try it all out. And if you don't have a Raspberry Pi, one of the things that we have in the course is that when somebody builds a model and converts it to TensorFlow Lite, they can actually run it in Colab with the TensorFlow Lite interpreter. So we're trying to make it as easy as possible for people to be able to do many of these models in many mobile scenarios. In some scenarios, like if, for example, a live camera feed, you're going to need a camera. But on the whole, we want to be able to show people how you can take your model, convert it, deploy it, and run it on something like this, or your Android or your iOS device.
Cool.
It's kind of nice.
So I think one of the most exciting trends in computing has been the rise of cloud computing, but then also the rise of edge computing, where edge means your smartphones and devices like these, where the data is collected, where you can also do the computation. And cloud computing is a certain Moore's law. Edge computing has a different Moore's law that is a different rate. And the network between them is also getting faster, but at yet a different Moore's law. So because of all of these three different rates of Moore's law, it feels like my teams are rebalancing almost every year what we do in the cloud and what we do at the edge. And in order to be able to deploy machine learning models, knowing how to do the edge computation is a very important part. So in this course, you learn how to do these edge deployments. Let's get started by going on to the next video.